Hello, so let's speak about the perfect staff and the perfect student mix. Now, there is a catch to all of this. You always need to recruit tier 1 students in order to graduate them to get the adept scrolls so you can get the better ones. But I recommend that in the beginning of the game you focus a lot on getting the spindle, which means you need a tier 2 dark wand, because you need darkness level 4, dark wand level 4, in order to use the spindle to craft all of these beautiful helpers. So the miners, the handymans, the sweepers, the lumberjack, this is a huge bonus to your base, and it will actually, I don't know, it will automate everything so your students and your teachers have more time for the happiness needs and also to teach and to learn. So Dark Wand 4, very important to have in the beginning of the game. Your initial staff members should always have, well, at least one should have research 1.5 faster. This is super important to get. And you should always have one at least. The second one can be whatever you want, but it can also be a researcher, so both of them will research much faster if you want to have the same projects with them. After you get that Dark Wand tier 4, I really recommend you get only Dark tier 2 ones for your staff and tier 1 for your students. So okay, let's say this like this. You will always need to graduate students for the scrolls, but if you want to keep some of the students, I recommend you always give them ones that are tier 2 because you can use them in combat, which is a huge benefit. After that, try if it's possible to get lightning ones tier 2 and then recruit the people if you like their medallions or some of the other stats. Either way, try to have a tank that is a VV fight and then a damage dealer that is a Raven Call, if you can. If not, everything works. Let's see how fast this guy moves indoors. That's not so bad. Why do you need the lightning tier 2 ones? Well, because as you can see, you can recruit gifted students, and if you can recruit gifted students, that's a huge bonus. So you can make the quilted, you can research. By the way, I think it's required to research. Not sure if it says over here. It should say over here if you look at that. No, I think it will say over here. So lightning is used for scrivening, charge, and research. So your researcher, the best thing it could be is a lightning wand user. So again, you probably want to mix it up a little bit, but at the same time, just try to make them as strong as you can for combat, and keep in mind that their tasks will also depend on their dark skill. So this is for quilting and warding. Plus it will allow them to create cover. After you get these 3 staff members, of course the research one, and you also need the teacher. That's quite good, but now we don't have a basic classroom anymore. You should focus very much on getting a fire wand student that is very strong, preferably a Raven Cult. I cannot stress how important it is to get a Raven Cult fire wand user. They are super strong in combat because of their skills. So the best combatant is the wand user, the fire wand user, because they can use an attack that uses half of their mana to deal a lot of damage. Look at here. Spends half of the caster mana and deals twice that much damage. So basically, with 160 mana, he'll use 80 mana, which will be 160 damage, which can crit for 320. Plus, it's not going to be only 160, it's going to be 205 because he has the extra power. That's an amazing student, which you will need to recruit as fast as possible. As you can see, this is also a teacher. Even though the stats are not that good per se, as you can see, it's more than you need, and the intermediate classroom is the thing you should be looking for, so try to get teachers that teach very well in intermediate classrooms. It's going to be kind of annoying. As you can see, you need to retire some of your teachers at this point because you don't have the scrolls or the time to do it. So we'll have to retire Moira. No, we'll retire Gisela, okay. Also, when you do a ritual, it's very important that you see, goes with us for a long time, that you see who will be happy to do the ritual, because if some of them will be left out, they'll actually get a penalty for that. So let's retire Giselle because we cannot really afford that many people now. And after you get a Raven Fire Wand user tier 2, of course, super important to get someone that is a Nature Wand tier 2. As you can see, I'm kind of trying my best to get them sorted out. So this is a VV fight, but because he's a gifted student, he has so much more health, 275, so he's the best tank. More HP. Sadly, I don't think I can get this. while with no other students present. Well, I guess I can keep him as the only student for a while. That will be an interesting one, but teach us twice as fast as in intermediate. We don't need him. We have other people that can do that for now, as you saw. And nature is super important because you will need someone to harvest the rune wood. Which is again one thing I was not really thinking about. Rune wood will appear very close to the fog, so you need to push the fog a little more. Let's see if we have any of the rune woods over here. No. Oh, but we have, okay. So you can only harvest them if you have a nature 4 skill to chop. So that's going to make it super hard to get. This is your major roadblock in the game. I cannot stress how important it is to have the nature level 4 or tier 4, whatever you want to call it. So you can harvest the Ranwood. If you cannot get the Ranwood, you're basically stuck at this tier because you need to create some interesting designs for the monsters. What do I mean by that? Well, over here in the crafting you should have the Weaver Bird, which as you can see requires Ranwood, and the Cronbug Pen. These creatures are the ones that will refine your next tier of materials and are super important to have. So yeah, you should have these people. So how many did we say we have for now? So 2 lightning. Well, I guess it's the correct order is 1 dark, 1 tier 2, 2 tier 2 lightning ones, and then fire 4, and then nature 5. So you need to have at least 5 staff members that can do all of this, that have these ones. And this is where the game gets a lot more interesting, and it also gets a little harder. Oh yeah, Rizella was retired. So we need to add staff history. As you can see, you cannot recruit that much staff because at some point it will just become almost impossible to recruit them. Also, don't leave them out. If you have staff members that are easily to be upset. Okay, this is the thing I didn't understand at the beginning either. So the people who will be left out will have a -15 to conviction, which is super bad. That means you need to rotate them, so try to have the people that are upset over here. And they'll get a bonus, 10% conviction. Either way, you should always check their conviction before you start the ritual, because again, it's super important, but nobody tells you this. So Farah, Ivy. So yeah, don't really make the ghost attend your rituals. So Farah, Ivy. That guy is already breaking. Oh, okay. I tend to check things more now because as you can see it can be super annoying when you miss something. Giovanni and... No, that's all we need. 3 of them only. Begin the ritual. Casting crisis. By the way, you know what this is? Bane of the Vivified. Vivified cannot cast spells in combat that deal damage, so you should rotate them as much as possible. So that's why I recommend you have tanks with Vivified, damage dealers with Ravenclaw, but you also need some humans around, and some of the crystals as well, the crystal people. Because if you only have one race of humans, or pseudo-humanoids, it will be very hard for you to advance in the game just because of that. As you can see, he went on a rampage just before the ritual. When he comes then he should go and do the ritual, it doesn't really matter. Because right now, we have everything we need, so we have to make Nick craft some lumberjacks, miners, sweepers, carrier. Let's make a carrier. If they go on a rampage and destroy something, the Handymans will repair everything, otherwise it's super hard to repair. It'll be okay after the rampage is over. I guess we need all is to have 2 handymen. Let me see if we have them. Yeah, 2 handymen, and I think I also need a recycler handyman, which I don't have. I guess that's the bad part of the game. You should always have the recycled as well. Recycled with the handyman too. Until... Anyway, you should always have those. The bad thing is that he's destroying our food, but he should be okay in the long run. Because that's the idea of having a bigger school. To kind of prevent situations like this, and that's why I need the build, that's why I need the other people, the other staff members. So now I'm just waiting to recruit Historia. Chris will just be bye-bye. This is just here to be graduated, so we should do that as well. No research selected. The research is another thing that we'll have to deal with. So let me see, we have the new furniture, the tanning rack. Was needed for the atelier over here. Why the atelier? Well, let me see if this is an atelier. Lofted. Is lofted. So I just need to introduce a lot more luxury. 45 luxury. That's going to be super hard to make. Well, I guess it will depend on the carpets and some of the other things. We'll just leave it like that for now. This will be a scriven, whatever that. Well, it's a... How do you even pronounce that? Scriven. Anyway, scrivener desk. This will be where we actually research a lot of interesting things, like... I mean, this is where we will produce the scrolls needed to advance, so we can make the adept scrolls. Anyway, the scrolls that you get from retiring and graduating students. Victoria is joining us. Perfect. I just like how they get different masks. As you can see, she is a tier 5. Now, how does this happen? Well, from what I understand, if the wand is tier 2, it will be 4 max. But you can also use this thing over here to increase the power. I think this is what increases the student's power to the next tier, or I'm not sure how that is. Maybe when you turn a tier 4 or level 4 wand user to 5, I don't know. Just make sure to upgrade their power if you have someone that you want to keep. We don't want to keep Chris or Margot. And if you want to know how you can get this, it will be a little more interesting to get. I'll show you right now. So, graduate someone who is very upset. Let's see who is the least upset. Hey, Giovanni. So we'll have him attend the ceremony. Bittersweet feelings, 10 more. Conviction. Nice. Advanced scrolls, just because. What do you need for the graduate with honors? Auditorium or a great hall? What do we need for the great hall? Because I was looking at this beforehand, but I completely forgot about it. Auditorium. So it needs to be grounded. It needs to have one ritual sigil. We have that. Solemn braziers or solemn pedestals. Yeah, sure, we can do that. And let's make sure we can graduate them with merit, as we'll have this. So 35 luxury. So what is the furniture that gives us a lot of luxury? Well, I guess this is a bit of a troubled thing. We have unlocked the rugs and some of the other things, but fibrous textile. We don't have that yet. We have the hallway thingy, but it's only one luxury. The solemn pedestal, as you can see, will add 5 luxury to this. Let me look at that again. Sometimes I also need to look at it again because it's annoying how this is designed. But probably at some point you learn them by heart almost. So the ritual sigil is over here. Again, I'm just trying to exemplify this for people who are watching and might not have time to play like I have. Well, I'll not have time either, but I like the game. 2 more solemn braziers or solemn pedestals. So let's have that, solemn pedestals. Which is kind of like the only way to increase luxury in my current predicament, so that means I'll need this of them. 5 will be enough because we already have 10 luxury. Press F1 to see it. Make sure everything is clear around the ritual thing. But you also have everyone just assemble this. I don't really care what they're doing. They will go and do that. Also keep in mind that after you dismiss your teacher, you need to go and look at the priorities. So Historia, this is from Attack on Titan, that's why I like the name. So teaching. Man, they have so many things over here. I wish this was a little easier to read. Teach. I guess the most important one should be over here. It should be anyway, doesn't matter. Our top priority will be to teach always, even though it's critical. And you can also get rid of Chris and then probably get rid of Margot as well. You can also expel her. She's only a tier 1 lightning 1 user anyway. So sadly, you do have to get the lightning 1s tier 1 as... I mean, you can never really escape the tier 1 lightning 1s and the water 1s and whatever. Just because you'll need them a lot. I think water helps them clean better. I guess we can also get someone who can plant. So let's get a nature one as well going. The idea is that these are much easier to make. Since you will need godberries and wood for this stuff. Add earth ones. Probably the students can help you with some of the other tasks, but since you cannot directly control them, it's not really worth doing that. Are they done with assembling those? Yeah. The keyword system is very interesting. It can get on my nerves a lot of times, but as you can see, I've also built an infirmary which will be transformed into a hospital as soon as we can. How do you build an infirmary? Well, let's let the game play in the background like this. So medical bed, incense burners, yes, it's lofted and private, but I need 3 large windows or a huge window. As you can see, even though you have all of these things, by the way, a little trick to have private stuff is to just make them a little bit above the ground. So as you can see, this is still the same layout, but I just made it above the ground, so it's much better to make the huge rooms sometimes. Let me see, yeah, I cannot make the big ones just because I don't have that thing, the frost. It's kind of a little bit of a game of thorium. Intermediate. Why doesn't it let me do the graduate with honors? Fully trained student. This is not fully trained. By fully trained they mean their max tier, max level, so it's 4. Okay, let's look at this again. Why is it not letting me do this? Oh, I see what they mean by that. I see. So he should be fully trained. As you can see, he trained in all of the skills. He only needs to wait. He's a fully trained. Come on, game. Why don't you let me? So 5, 6, 9. I guess they don't let me graduate tier. But he's also tier 2 1 user, so I don't understand why they don't let me graduate with honors. I guess 13 skill total is not achieved. It should say the skill total somewhere over here, so that's 3, 4, 6, 9, 13. Game. Fully trained on all of his skills. Unless they mean by that also his medallions. Not. Which you need to chance a lot more. It doesn't matter. Let's just do the normal one for now. Fully trained. In all skills and I'll be hired to reach your full honors. And can be hired. I don't understand. You see, this is what I don't like sometimes. It's not very clear why it doesn't let me graduate with honors, because it should be. Retrained. Well, I don't get it. I don't care. Let's just graduate him naturally. Graduating. Who's Mr. Poopy Pants? Giovanni is Mr. Poopy Pants. Name like that, of course, he's always upset. And if I'm not mistaken, I can also just make the schedule. You can also modify the schedule of every student if you like. Custom schedules. I guess I should have started with this one. So, Margot. Margot is a student, which should have learning in their schedule. Advanced school, nice. Anyway, I don't know about that, but we'll just have to see. So now he will get all of his medallions, even the one that was a little harder to get. It in a room with 6 students or 6 staff. I guess we'll need another table for that. We'll try to get everything. Dining table. Two breads here. Let's move this one over here. I'm sure it will not block anything or anyone. And then we'll just have reset it over here. Oh, annoying. It's so annoying. So let me see. All students, all staff. We have 6 staff members that will eat. All staff and list set. And over here we'll just put Margot, and over here we'll not put anyone. Yeah. We'll not question it. This is how it's supposed to be done. As you can see, it can be super slow to do some things. But that will be enough for people to come and eat here. Should be enough. Yeah, it's the night. We'll see in the morning if that makes sense or not. Also, we'll need to retire some of these people as well. So, Historia is the teacher. We'll also retire Moira very soon. We can recruit Lisette next. And after that, I think it will just be the water. But I think the water... Oh, yeah. Let me show you what I mean. No, it will be air, probably. Because you should look at the crafting over here, what they need. So, these things need to be hatched. What does that mean? What does that mean? They need air skill tier 4. Nature, water, and earth. So as you can see, to kind of take care of these animals, you need everyone. So we have nature, which will be Lisette. We have earth. This is Ivy. And that means we also need water. So we also need someone with water and earth. Dark, lightning. Earth, fire. So yeah, at some point we'll need everything in order to advance in the game. So we'll also need 2 students with air and water next. Let's just pass the day so we can see what happens in the next day with the people coming here to enjoy themselves. By enjoyment I mean learn very weird spells. Keep the crow population under control. Usually you want to destroy the stuff that is on the side. You have to destroy the crows and the crow nests on the side where your crops are, because they will eat everything. But on the side with the garden, they will not really be a danger. Because if you leave their nest, the nest will spawn crow. If you kill the crow, it will spawn a spectral ghost. If you don't destroy the body of the crow, you'll have the spectral ghost, spectral crow just destroying your stuff and doing weird things. So the live ones will eat your crops, the dead ones will destroy your stuff in your base, so you might as well destroy them as soon as possible. They should also be scared. There are some ways you can prevent this from happening. I think there is a scare trap, I don't know, for the crows, but I'll have to look at that a bit later. Usually what I do is just have Oliver destroy the crow nest in the evening. Also destroy all of the spore blooms, because that rush is going to be super annoying in the long run. Make sure you always have Viscera. If you don't know what Viscera is for, well, Viscera is very useful for a lot of things, including planting, but it's more important that you have a lot of corpses so they can process them. You need the small carcasses to be processed into... You need the corpses of the rats to be processed into various parts. I hate the crowbars. They mostly eat your bitter rice apparently, and they eat all of it in one night. They should also be scared when you attack them, but as you can see, it doesn't really work as intended, or I'm not understanding something. They also drop eyeballs and brains, which will be useful for some potions. So just make sure you keep your crow population under control, otherwise you'll never have bitter rice. As you can see, they have already eaten it and now it needs to be replanted. They don't just destroy it, they just eliminate the crop as well, so I don't know about that, but... Remember to mark the corpses for destroyal, otherwise you'll have the spectral crows to deal with. Usually I let my ghost handle all of this. Well, you can also take the corpses. I think they can be processed as well, like any other carcass. It twitches so weirdly. Okay, it's morning and let's see if all of that work paid off. Didn't they eat? I think they already ate or something, so also look it over here. This is one inventory, one tab that I always keep open, so I have the gut berry, the carcass and the bitter gruel almost ready. You need to be careful so that you have a cook. I think I dismissed my cook, so now the student with fire will be the cook. Is also Historia. So her other product will be cooking, as fire skill is needed to cook. So this will be high priority, this will be a lower priority. And the honeyed gruel will require bitter rice and a tier 3 fire skill. Anyway, you get the idea. We can reduce this a little bit. Honeyed gruel will always be the best one. But I cannot get the bitter rice going because of the stupid crows, so be very careful, because the crows are definitely one of the biggest pests in the game, and they'll definitely... I don't want to say they'll destroy your game, but they'll definitely put such a bad... They'll have such a bad effect on your game that you'll almost not believe how bad they can be. So look at, everyone has the spore shroom rash. It is a little better. Raising recreation, they already had recreation. And I guess you can give them more time for recreation. Because from what I saw, that's not enough. So in the middle of the day we'll have one more recreation. And that should be enough. destroy 3 objects. Well, I guess we can have him destroy some objects as well, because that's the easiest thing he can do. And just right click like that. Do. This guy is always angry. I don't know. It seems like the Raven Call staff will always leave you because there's nothing you can do to keep them here. You can reload your game and instead of running away, they'll do something else, but I think it's unavoidable at some point because I need to increase the happiness of the staff by giving them better meals. And when they run away, they'll show you what they are lacking. Eat instead of the die. I don't know why. I guess the problem is if they go to bed upset in the morning, they'll just leave without doing anything else. And now he's stuck in the... well... can rescue him. There's no path, so... we need to push the fog away, but we don't have the resources because that's a lot of fog to push away. Also, I see trees. Trees means we don't have the lumberjack build. That should take care of its own. As you can see, they're basically handling all of the gardening on their own. Not a big deal, he was not so strong. I mean, he had a lot of HP and a lot of other things going for him, but... I'm just tired of rescuing them. So the only way I can increase the happiness at this point is to make a conservatory, which I should really do. Because that's important for the staff. Yeah, let's make that, and that will be the final thing we'll do on the video. Man, it's so hard to look at them. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there is a conservatory room, but I don't know where to find it. Rec room. Probably it's under workshops. No, it's not there. Weird. Okay, I'm not finding it, which is weird because it's definitely somewhere here. Rec room. Oh yeah, this is the conservatory, this is the rec room. But it needs to be skewed and lofted, which is annoying. So let's look at what skewed and lofted are. Skewed, one wall is 3 blocks taller, lofted taller than its wide. This is going to be super hard to make just because you need to be very tall, and one of the walls will need to be a little... I can just make it over here if I look at it a little better. Because this is already skewed and the roof will be something like that. That will look terrible. What about the roof? Maximum 1. And it will tell you if it's not possible to do anything over there. It will tell you if it's not going to be a room or that. So, it's kind of weird that the only recreation is the enchant of one for now. I guess I should have moved that. We'll move that over there as well. Also, remember that you have to kind of designate everything for the students or for the teachers. As you can see, the students have no problem staying happy right now, but the sour grandpas that are unhappy now. I don't think we can rescue him because we cannot push the fog further, so it's actually a very good tactic to have the fog be very close to you. Because if someone runs away, you can just push the fog a little bit and that will be enough. But if they run into the fog when it's very far away, there's no way to recover them almost. As you can see, we have no more ruined wood trees near us. That means we need honey drops and spore caps. Oh, that's a lot of them. Fine, we'll cancel the destroy and we'll harvest them. I said spore shroom. Yeah, so as you can see, nothing is really worth destroying in a way, but you have to do it, otherwise you'll get anywhere. And I really hope they implement a way to harvest everything. For example, if you tell Oliver to harvest a shroom, he should harvest all of the shrooms. Only at night. And at some point I'll just have to make my Lisette over here will be the only character that will handle all of this harvesting. He will be the #1 harvester, so we'll have less classes for him, but he will be able to harvest everything. What was the luxury I needed for this conservatory? 25. That shouldn't be a problem. It's like for now the solemn pedestal is a bit too good. Make some lightning. Huh. They don't add luxury, okay. Oh, this is exactly how I play the game as well. Got 25, so that means I'll need 5. Or 4. If I can get away with it. I guess they can work very hard on this. Maybe we can save him, but it doesn't really matter in the long run, because if they go away and they fill up our graves, we can also use them like that. Oh well. When somebody leaves our base, they can go look at the garden. Let me see how they finish this room over here. Oh, Oliver is building that, okay. And you should really give them more time for their tasks, because as you can see, even though I have no one... So he did gain this thing over here, because he was the only one learning. Okay, let's make sure he gets his last medallion as well. And that kind of will be it. So as you can see, he has all of the medallions. He is as strong as he could be. Now I just need to wait until he finishes that. And by the time Historia builds anything, it will be too late. So let's look at the priority of schedule. So as you can see, Margot had a different schedule just because reasons. So she can get back to a regular schedule. Clean free mess, yeah. We have to clean the mess. Why is he upset? These Raven cult people are so strong and so powerful, but they're so hard to keep in your base. The nearest fog is close. This is another thing I don't understand. That's super far away. As you can see, you need to handle this situation as well. Oh, she's already running away. That's so silly. I don't know how to deal with this. Running away should be one of the harder things to do in the game, but apparently it's the easiest one now. To reduce luxury, so... I guess we can just make windows. It will look very cool over here. Oh man, I hate it so much. Why do they always get so upset? I guess I'll just have to reload the game or something, because it's unacceptable in my opinion that you have so many people that just run away straight away. When they break, they should have some other effects going for them, not just running away into the fog. Anyway, that's kind of it. I showed you how to manage the base in the mid game and whatever you need to advance, but now only farming, more farming. Bye bye.